Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're going to do a short, quick, fast lesson on multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. Why are we doing that, you ask? Because as we move into the metric system, that's all you're doing, is multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. And multiplying and dividing by powers of 10, all you have to do is move the decimal point. You really don't have to do any of the math. You have to be able to count. That's pretty much it. So by the end of class, or when you get to it, we're going to be doing a worksheet that it says back there, and it's just practice multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. So I want you to stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. And I want you to watch as I explain this. Now, if we are multiplying by a number greater than 1, is our first factor going to get bigger or smaller?
Smaller, bigger.
Bigger. If you multiply something by a number greater than 1, it gets bigger. In order to make a number bigger, that means our decimal point is going to have to move. Now, if I were multiplying just 2, the number 2 times 1,000, what would I get? 2,000. 2 times 1,000 is 2,000. This is close to 2, so I need to get an answer close to 2,000. But wait, there's more. If I'm multiplying by 1,000, all I need to do is move my decimal point. I'm going to keep the same numbers. If I'm multiplying by 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, any power of 10, I'm going to keep the same numbers, and I just have to move my decimal point the same number of zeros there are. So it goes 1, 2, 3. There are 3 zeros. So my decimal point moved from behind the 2 to behind the 9, which if you left it off, that's fine because it's just a whole number. Is that close to 2,000? Yes. I didn't have to change any of the numbers. The numbers all stayed the same. I just moved the decimal point. Here, I have a number very close to 2. If I were multiplying 2 by 100, my answer would be what? 200. So my answer here is going to be close to 200. 2 zeros, so my decimal point moves 2 places to the right. So I'm going to have the same numbers, and I'm going to get 203 and 9/10. This really saves you a lot of time, because now you're not, and then carrying, and then I got to add all the, that's a lot of work that you don't need to do. I'm just saying. I have 2 and 39 thousandths is really close to 2. If I multiply 2 times 10, what would I get? 20. So my answer is going to be close to 20. 1 0 means I move my decimal point 1 place to the right. I'm going to have the same numbers. My decimal point moves from in front of the 0 to behind the 0. Mason. Maddox, sorry.
On a problem like 6.6 times 1,000, since there's not 4 zeros, would we just make it 666?
No. What would 6 times 1,000 be?
6,000.
6,000. So I'd have to move, I'm going to have a 6 and a 6. And I have to move this 3 places. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to add zeros. So if you have to add zeros either to the back or the front, then that's the way you would do it. Let's look at dividing. Well, since multiplying by a power of 10, we're going to make our number bigger. And to make our number bigger, we move the decimal point to the right. If we're dividing by a power of 10, we need to make this number smaller, which means the decimal point's going to move to the left. because that's the only way we make a number smaller is by moving the decimal point. And when you're doing a whole number, if I'm doing 40 divided by 10, what's my answer? 40 divided by 10? 4. Well, let's look at the number 40. Where's my decimal point in the number 40?
Nowhere.
No, there is a decimal point there. There's always a decimal point. Behind it. It's in the, I find the ones place, which is the 0, and so it's at the back. So if I'm dividing by 10, you already told me 40 divided by 10 is 4. And I just moved my decimal point over. That's all you're doing. Now, when you've learned this prior to it, you just added a 0 to the back because you didn't do decimal numbers. Now I'm showing you why. So here, we have 4 and 42 hundredths divided by 10. 1 0, I'm going to have the same numbers. 1 0, which means my decimal point goes to the left because I got to make it smaller. And I'm going to get 442 thousandths. Yes, sir.
Could we ever just like, if we're multiplying or dividing by 10, could we ever just do this?
Yeah.
Instead of working it out?
Yeah, that's why I'm showing you this. All right, 4 and 42 hundredths divided by 100. I'm not going to change my numbers. I'm still going to have a 4, and a 2. Now I need to move the decimal point to the left twice. So 1, 2, which means I'm going to have a 0 there. And it's going to go there. And 4 and 42 thousandths divided by 1,000. I got to move the decimal point 3 places to the left. So it's going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to get whatever that really big number is. So all this is moving the decimal point. Because as we talked about it here, that's what you did when you multiplied by 10. When all you did in the past was add a 0. That's what you did. We talked about it here. When you divided by, all you did was move the decimal point. So all you did before that is just move the decimal point. You did the same thing. This shows you why it works. Boom! Shakalaka, peace out. God bless. Love. Do something kind today. If you see some trash on the ground, pick it up. Be kind.